Then coming back to talk about offense and the border, maybe, Michelle, could you tell the audience about your piece, Find Yourself Here, where it was presented in this building which had to do with the tunnel? So maybe you can talk about this. This is like a phenomenon for me.
Also, too, I wanted to bring up Camilo Ontivero's work, where he went and slapped on these magnetic strips onto the caution signs, which is at the border. But I mean, it is an interesting question if you actually have to be in this physical space. You know, as briefly comparing the Mexicali to offense, and you know, a lot does change by bringing it to Berlin, especially in the discourse of what Art Laboratory has been doing, showing a lot of work that I think brings up the subject of territorialized zones and minorities, groups, and subculture. But you know, I don't think, I'm not being afraid that your question implies this, but I don't think that there necessarily has to be more of a success to have action at the site, because it's so much bigger than that, you know, and really there are so many people that cross this border in San Isidro, south of San Diego and Tijuana, where there's a few projects in the Mexicali that I think were very interesting, but were not able to be received at that time. It was only afterwards, through documentation and these artifacts that were left over, can then the work really be manifested, you know, and have a dialogue and conversation.
It's interesting that maybe the two works that in this show that connect most to the border are artists who weren't at the Biennale. It's Katia and Camilo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it can be distinguished between the real border and the inner border, the border in the minds.
Yes.
We have the same discussion, or had the same discussion here in Berlin, the real wall and the wall in the brains. But in this project you have chosen no Mexican artists living in Mexico and being involved from the other side.
Katia is. Yeah,
okay.
she's based in Mexico City, and Mexican Camilo and Luis are.
Both grew up in Mexico.
Oh yeah. And
Because the one question is the question of space, territory, the real border between the two countries and the military control and all that. On the other hand, inner border, the question of identity, of stigmatization by society, and which is more important for the project.
Yeah. Is that a question?
Well, which of those borders has been more important for designing the project?
Offense or my project?
Maybe both, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah. Well, for my work, and maybe to touch on Regina's question, I chose to reference the border in my internet project, a space that has no borders. Excuse me. Really, the fact that it is exhibited in a computer version is just for convenience in the gallery space. But this work can be accessed anywhere, you know, across borders. When the Mexicali Biennial was shown this year, the first exhibition space was in Tijuana, and you needed to have a passport if you were an American citizen to go to the opening reception and as well to come back. And I'll note that it was at the Casa del Tunnel, And this building used to be a structure where drugs were smuggled through a tunnel that was actually dug underneath the wall, and it was apprehended by the police and then donated to this art space as a nonprofit. And also the second exhibition moved to Mexicali, and then again Los Angeles. So I do think that the Mexicali Biennial touches on politics of receivership and viewership. There were perhaps, family members, Mexican family members who could not go to the Los Angeles exhibition. There were performances as well at these exhibition sites, as well as works that were done on the border. For logistical reasons, offense needed to have works that were able to be easily shipped because of funding restrictions and whatnot. It is a much smaller scale exhibition in the biennial as well.
Also, one thing about your piece, if I'm correct from the photos I've seen at the Tijuana show, your piece was in a room overlooking the border, and you said you actually parked your car in California, crossed the border with a passport, and then you could see your car from the exhibition space and from the place where you're, and you were, I guess somebody was sitting down looking at these landscapes, which also look like landscapes from that region, from the American Southwest or Mexican Northwest. And but they would see these things, and then also on the screen, like behind the screen, is the border in the U.S.
Any questions?
Are you taking us? The show's going to go on anywhere else?
If we had funding, we'd love to make a catalog of some sort. So I think it would fit well with the texts, and it's an interesting topic.
Well then, so just a few information. First of all, Chris and me and everybody from Art Lab to Berlin wants to say thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you. You made the longest trip you've ever received to Art Lab to Berlin. From Los Angeles to Detroit to Amsterdam to Berlin, all despite of the volcano. You arrived this Wednesday.
24 hours later.
You brought the artworks, and I love the cooperation with you. That was wonderful to work with you, not only you as an artist, but you as a curator. And let's work together for the future. Thank you so much for everybody that you came here on such a sunny Sunday afternoon, where probably everybody wants to have coffee outside. We really appreciate you and your existence, you coming, your visit. Now I would suggest that maybe for those who have not seen the video, we can just quickly set out this presentation and bring back the video that we have from Katja Galea-Braun. And you're all very welcome to see the show. We have a tiny little invitation for you. If you want, you're all welcome that we all go in maybe 15 minutes to our neighbors, or half an hour. They're fantastic Togolese restaurants. And they cook really gorgeously. It's much too expensive, and we just maybe kind of stay over a glass of wine or coffee or whatever, and maybe talk on. And the wonderful chance of maybe from eye to talk to Michelle or about the exhibition. So thank you so much for coming.